G'day there guys, my name's Marky and welcome back to some more stories from Reddit. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let's go. Am I the asshole here for considering postponing my wedding after I saw how my fiance talks about me in his group chat? Hi everyone. I hope you guys can give me some insight and help with this situation. So me, 24 female, and my soon-to-be husband, 24 male, had been together since we were both 17. He was my first everything. First boyfriend, first kiss. He took my virginity. Literally my first for everything. He proposed after I graduated nursing school, and I've never been happier. I know everyone says this, but there's literally been zero problems and zero red flags. I wanted to play this game that he has on his iPad because I've been borderline addicted to it. As I was playing it, I saw a text from his group chat pop up. I ignored it, and then another came up with one of his friends saying that I'd marry a BJQ. I got confused, so I decided to open it. This group chat is men only. Some are my childhood friends too, and we hang out with these people multiple times a week. My husband sent a pros and cons list about me. I copied it, sent it to me, deleted the evidence. Here is the list. Pros: sexually eager and blowjobs whenever I want, big tits, big ass, big thighs, and a flat stomach. Doesn't let herself become frumpy and ugly, funny and smart, good cook and baker. Cons: has a lot of animals, doesn't always keep our place clean, laughs too loud, vulgar and crude, has bad breath in the mornings, and spends too much time at the gym. Is the list that bad? It made my stomach drop, and I just felt this impending dread ever since discovering it. The cons aren't that bad, but it feels so objectifying with the pros list. And as I scrolled up and read more, the worse it got. He talked to them about how he thinks I lied about being a virgin when we met because I'm too eager in wanting to try too many things. And even bragged about how he has a folder on his phone of videos and photos of me and us. Everybody dared him to send it, but he said no. But how can I be sure that he didn't send it anyways and deleted the evidence? He even talked about how there was a week that he tested to see how many blowjobs he could get out of me by simply asking for them, and decided to stop because he started to feel bad. There was more, but I can't write it out. I feel so gross and sad. I talk about him in such a different way. It feels like he only sees me as a sex object, and I see him as my other half. I've opted out of my friends' hangouts and have distanced myself from him. He's noticed and has been trying to figure out what's wrong, but I'm not even ready to tell him. I want to postpone our wedding until we can figure this out, or if it's even salvageable. Am I overreacting? Please, any and all advice is welcomed. In the comments, Reddit Lurker 1981 says, I don't think you should ever marry anyone so willing to humiliate you. He doesn't sound like he has much love or respect for you. Not a good way to start a lifelong partnership. My thoughts exactly. This is her fiance, soon-to-be husband, and he's discussing you this way with his friends. I'm appalled at his behavior. Your fiance/husband should be your best friend, your confidant, your soft place to fall, not someone who discusses how many blowjobs he can get out of you. I hate it when men discuss their sex lives. This is something very personal. Cancel the wedding, move out if you were living together, and start your life anew. You deserve someone who treats you with respect. I agree with all of this, but before doing anything, delete his entire folder of photos and videos. Clear the deleted items folder and anywhere that it might be backed up. He might decide to share them after all. This man has no respect for you. It's not okay for someone who's supposed to love you to talk about you in a degrading and objectifying way. And the others in the group chat are not your friends. If anything, you are now underreacting. Postponing the wedding is the minimum that you should do. Don't be fooled into staying with him because he was your first and you've put so much time and energy into the relationship. You deserve better. You have plenty of time to find a partner who respects and loves you. Not the asshole, but you may end up being one to yourself if you don't address this and demand better for yourself, even if it's with someone else. Bad breath in the morning? Like a normal person? I bet if she stopped spending too much time at the gym, that he'd complain that she's letting herself go. She doesn't keep the place clean? He could do that too. Eager to try new things means she wasn't a virgin? Or maybe she wants to have new experiences to figure out what she likes since she doesn't know if she's inexperienced. Like literally none of what he listed were cons, and now he might lose what sounds like an awesome woman. Back up to the post, we have an edit. The responses have been overwhelming. I've never used Reddit before and opted to use my friend's account, and wow, I really wasn't expecting this. I appreciate all of your guys' advice and input. Truly, this means a lot. I'll try to update when I can, but again, thank you all. I know everyone likes to make jokes about, if my group chat was leaked, I'd be in Guantanamo Bay right now. But like, is this not serious to you guys? If you found your partner talking about you like that and threatening to share images of you to your childhood friends, how would you react? I know I wouldn't be cool with it personally. I'd be freaking out. I'd be losing my shit. I think in this instance, you shouldn't be postponing the wedding. I think you should be cancelling it and getting to the police as fast as possible, because what is going on? It is deranged to talk about your partner like that. It is deranged to share things or threaten to share things. Why bring her up like that, BJQ? What's that? What's going on there? So many questions and so little answers. I just think this is another instance, like the guy that said, I think I just love you less now. Where a guy and a girl can too, but a guy in these instances got very comfortable with you, took advantage in many different ways, started climbing the relationship ladder with you, and the mask slips along the way. I get it, people don't choose bad partners. Bad partners let the mask slip and shit like this happens. Honestly, at this point, OP, I'd be getting as much evidence as you can and breaking up with him, at a minimum. And now, onto the updates. I wanted to say thank you to everyone that gave me their advice and inputs, and also a thank you to my friend for letting me post on her Reddit account. I've never even used Reddit, so this whole experience has been wild. She suggested I use it due to her using it, and told me that she got a lot of great legal advice as well as emotional support. So again, thank you all. Anyways, my soon-to-be ex left for a work-related trip and won't be returning until the 7th. I decided to go through his iPad even more, and the things that I found were absolutely appalling. I can't even believe that I considered staying. You all opened my eyes, and what I found really solidified it. I searched the group chat more. They didn't talk about me a whole lot, but every time they did, it was so degrading and wildly inappropriate. I found out that it was my soon-to-be ex that coined me as blowjob queen, BJQ. And I was right, he has sent videos of me. It was just videos of me performing oral, but still, I wanted those to stay between us. I also found his ex and Reddit account. It's nothing but gangbang porn and cuck fetish porn. All the porn is one girl and multiple men. I don't want to read too much into that, but with how everything is falling, I'm scared he was going to try to share me with the men in this group chat. Which, yes, I am open-minded, but I'm firm on no threesomes and no sharing of any sort. He knows this. I also found out that he calls me Butterface. He constantly complains that I don't lean into my femininity and dress more girly. He says he hates my tattoos and piercings and said they're excessive. There's so much more, and I'm just devastated. I don't even know where to begin. I don't want to tell my family because I'm so humiliated and sad. Do I collect evidence from his iPad and take it to a lawyer? Do I start moving out while he's away? I'm just so lost right now. Thank you to everybody that has helped me open my eyes. In the comments, she added more comments saying, okay, so far I've contacted the police station. I'll be going down there in a few hours because they said that's when it's not as busy and they'll be able to assist me right away. I've changed all passwords on my banking apps that he could possibly have access to. I've screenshotted almost everything and sent it to myself. The group chat's been going since 2019, so I doubt I'll be able to reach the top. I've found a lawyer and will be seeing him tomorrow morning. I've consulted a moving company, storage shed place, and will be moving in with my friend until I can find something. Is there anything else that I should do? I feel like I'm a headless chicken right now. I'm so scatterbrained and haven't slept. Anything else you can think of would be greatly appreciated. Orrery says, depending on where you are, sharing those images and videos could be a crime. Go to the police, don't delete anything yet, and wait until you've spoken to them and then factory reset that beer. If it's an iPad, the files also need to be removed from the cloud. otherwise he could still potentially access them. His friends probably saved them on their devices as well, and can distribute them if they wanted. What a nightmare. OP needs a lawyer now. Butterface equals everything but her face equals immediately break up. Get moved out ASAP while he's gone. Don't let him know until he gets back. Move your stuff to a storage unit. Right? That means her body is great, but her face ... It is a disgusting thing to say about someone you're in a romance with. About anyone, actually. Or am I mistaken? I feel sick. This is sickening. Reading the post actually made me anxious. Effing hell, no one deserves to go through what OP is dealing with. Yup. And what I can't get beyond all the normal stuff is this guy's describing like the perfect partner as if she is nothing worth his time. I just hope that he goes heavy on the red pill shit after losing OP. Reading that pros and cons list, I immediately recoiled like, what the hell? This is how he sees his wife to be? Both the pros and cons were appalling to look at. That alone deserved the utmost scorn. Even posting that ironically and jokingly, that would still be super distasteful and disgusting, and that would be the most generous light that I could give it if I were trying to be biased towards the dipshit. Then there was the whole how many blowjobs could I get in a week segment, which he said he stopped because he started feeling guilty. Dude, that's just inconceivable to me, beyond selfish and objectifying to agree that it's cartoonish. I couldn't think of an appropriate way to even react to this guy and his friends. Being ostracized would be too generous of an outcome. It baffles me that people like this actually exist and feel no remorse for this behavior. It just got worse and worse and worse, and the fact that he did share photos? Oh my god, send this brother to jail. Send him to jail. Get a lawyer on his ass. Throw away the key. Send him down to hell. Look, I'm sorry that this happened to you, OP. I'm sorry that he was a tremendous piece of shit. But again, as we always say, better the mask slips now before kids and marriage, because that would be an even bigger shit show than this. You're young, you can go find someone that won't take you for granted and won't talk shit about you in group chats, and won't sexually objectify you. He deserves the worst, you deserve the best. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Our next post is by user BobKitten93, titled, Am I the asshole here for asking to go to an event that my boyfriend's friends held and having a breakdown when they flat out refused? My boyfriend, Stephen 31 male, and I, 29 female, have been dating for about a year. Stephen and his sister Rowan, 28 female, are friends with a couple, Lily, 34 female, and Jared, 36 male, who they play D&D and board games with. Since dating Stephen, I've met them a few times and joined in their dinners. Recently, they planned a game night and only invited Stephen and Rowan. I work irregular hours, nights, schedule changes every couple of weeks, and only have one weekend day off a week, which is typically when Stephen and I get together to spend time, and they scheduled for that night. It was fairly last minute, and I felt hurt and confused about not being invited because in my experience, partners are usually included in social events, and I've always done the same for others. Also, I'm an avid gamer. TTRPGs, board games, etc., and Stephen and Rowan were thinking of taking my copy of a brand new game that I'd bought recently to play with. But I don't know for sure that Lily and her husband knew that it was my game. I told Stephen how I felt, explaining that I was stressed from work. It's an emergency response type role, and it was a rough week. And I didn't want to spend the night alone. He spoke with Lily, who said they only wanted the two siblings because it was a 4-person game. Stephen then put me on the phone with Lily and pushed me to tell her about my mental health struggle and why I wanted to come even if I just watch. So I did. Even though I'm an extremely private person and never allow vulnerability outside of close relationships. She said she sympathized, but still refused and suggested that I find other coping mechanisms, like using a weighted blanket instead of relying on Stephen for support. Oh, excuse me? What? I ended the call feeling vulnerable and very upset, and had a meltdown. ADHD emotional overload, not a tantrum. I didn't yell or demand anything. Afterward, I told Stephen that I didn't want to visit Lily and her husband again as I'm obviously not welcome, but I encouraged him, without any passive aggressiveness, to go and enjoy himself. I didn't want to appear clingy and keep him from his friends, even though I was struggling emotionally. With their explanations about wanting 4 people and that I'd be bored, I'm questioning whether I overreacted. I see them thinking that he should have activities without me and not knowing that he does. I've never asked him to cancel any plans for me before. This was not a common occurrence. I've been spiraling with all sorts of thoughts as to why they didn't want me, worried that they hate me or that they don't accept me as his girlfriend. I also wonder if my stress and ADHD rejection sensitivity influenced my reaction. Am I the asshole here for asking to come, even though I wasn't invited, and then reacting so strongly to a refusal that I will not see them again? Additional info. Answers to a few concerns and a bit more backstory. 1. Stephen lives with his sister Rowan, and they see each other all day because he works from home and she only works part-time, so I wasn't trying to take sibling time away. 2. It was a board game night, not D&D. It wasn't something they do all the time, just a one-off. And they were going to play a board game that I had recently bought with Rowan and Stephen. Actually, they were going to take my copy, and hadn't had a chance to play, so I at least wanted to watch to learn the rules and stuff. It is only 4 players. 3. I don't have my own separate friend group as I moved to this city for work, and the first few people that I met were incredibly toxic, and it's been hard to make new friends with my job and weird hours. I also work with mostly men, so it's hard to just make friends and not have it misconstrued. I met Stephen coincidentally at a local event where I was supposed to meet some co-workers, but then walked away from the group because of their wives/girlfriends giving me death glares. 4. I didn't ask to go at first. I just wondered why I hadn't been invited and that I'd rather spend the time with him. Stephen's a bit of a people pleaser, but especially with his sister, and she was on Lily's side that no, I don't need to be invited. This isn't the only event where she's involved that I've been excluded from. So anyway, he thought that he could talk to them into inviting me and then handed me the phone during that call. I don't think he realized the terrible position that he put us both in. I was mortified because I'm the kind of person who will never push my company where it's not wanted and will back away at the slightest hint of that from anyone. My family is all like that, with my grandma making lifelong oaths to never set foot into houses where she felt unwanted and sticking to that till her dying breath. So, I tried for Stephen's sake, thinking he knows his friends better and maybe this is a misunderstanding. 5. Stephen's previous serious girlfriend was a piece of work and an all-around awful person to be around, and I do think that I've gotten a lot of the backlash for that. I didn't understand why I was getting some weird energy in all my intro meetings with his circle until some of his friends told me that they were nervous about meeting me for the first time, but they're so glad that I'm a decent person and not like her. Maybe Lily and her hubby have not accepted that yet. She even said one day that she thinks I'll leave him after chewing him up because I'm out of his league, and I'm probably just playing with him. In the comments, A Beer and a Book says, "Not the asshole. Lily was an asshole here by being all high and mighty about game night, but the main villain is Stephen for not stepping up for OP, putting her on the spot to talk to Lily about her struggles and get lectured about coping mechanisms was a shit move. Right? If my partner told me that they were having the type of day that OP was, I'd cancel game night in a heartbeat and spend time with my partner. It's a game night, not the closing ceremony of the Olympics or some other irregular event that I'd likely not get a chance to see again. We aren't talking about teenagers here. These are supposedly fully fledged adults, and they act like children. It's a tad concerning at 31 years old that OP's partner can't see that his partner needs him after a bad day. Exactly. He had zero sympathy for OP needing some TLC on her night off, and pawned her off on his ex-friends with benefits so she could tell OP to get lost and get over it. Does game night often fall on her nights off? Seems that she could start arranging her own social life around that and find some people who enjoy her company. Something tells me that this wasn't a one-off, I need you type of thing. That may be so, but she only gets 1 day off a week. It's not unusual that she would want to spend that night with her partner. Not the asshole. Stephen shouldn't have pushed you that way at all. It was an asshole move on his behalf to put you in that position. And as a fellow emergency care worker, when you have a terrible week and a horrible shift, sometimes all you need is to have downtime with your partner, be it to relax, offload, whatever. So while normally I would say that it was an asshole move to go nuclear over someone turning you down, it doesn't feel like it was the lack of an invite that set you off, but instead being pushed into talking about your personal difficulties when you didn't need to. Steven has a shit ton of making up to do. I kinda feel like everyone's the asshole here. Steven should have never put you in that position and handled shit like a man. You cancel if your significant other is feeling bad or isn't down with you going. Lily sounds like a B. I would have just picked up a new game that you all could have played if I was hosting and my friend's partner wanted to come along. Games are fun with people. What's the issue? I get where you're coming from with the situation, and I probably wouldn't be okay with their dynamic. However, I like some separation from my partners. So if my boyfriend had friends that he hadn't openly discussed banging, and I hadn't been straight up denied entry, I would have been fine with him going to play games with friends, especially if it was something he did pre-me. I feel like this is one of those ones that's just going to get really tiring really fast because no one here is an adult. But I'm on your side, OP, with this one. I don't understand how he said that everyone's an asshole because that would include you, and I don't know what you've done wrong. Is existing your crime? Is the crime having a bad day, taking one down, and singing a sad song just to turn it around? I just feel like your boyfriend putting you on the phone was such a spineless thing to do. What the hell? Yes. I don't want to solve this situation and be the mediator, and I want to use the one day that my partner has off to, kind of regulate her emotions and be at peace and say screw her because I'm not going to fight for her. I'm going to let her be emotionally abused by Lily, who's going to tell her to go trauma dump somewhere else. Hey woman, stop beating your boyfriend over the head with your emotions. Go wear a weighted blanket like a real man, huh? That'll take the edge off. Go doom scroll on TikTok, that'll make you feel better. Don't bore us with your, I want to go play board games and socialize with friends. What's wrong with you? You should be socially isolating and destroying your mental health. Hock tour. Anyway, my stance is not the asshole on this one personally. And now, onto the update. Steven realized the toll that it had on me, apologized, and said that he would stay with me. But I told him to go. I assured him that I would deal with my own feelings on my own. And I especially didn't want his sister to think anything bad about me since they are very close. I wanted to put the whole thing behind me, having come to the conclusion that I won't be friends with Lily and her spouse, but I don't want to ruin his friendship. Then he told me today that they set up the game, but then just got food and chatted and hung out all night. So I got a bit pissed off, but he was angry too, so I think he sees the situation better now as well. He says that Lily was weird to act this way because he's never seen her be this cold or exclusive before, and always talks about inclusivity and being welcome, and she definitely has dealt with serious mental health issues before that they've helped her through and accommodated. Lily be like, I'ma pull the ladder up behind me after I got everything I needed. But after reading everyone's comments, I do see her side of it. I can see how it might come across as me using my struggle to strongarm and manipulate my way into an event at their house. But I only shared because of Steven's belief that she would be caring and understanding and helpful. I still think that she was very mean to exclude me like that, especially after the events of the night, but I see how it was a very shitty experience for her too. Anyways, boyfriend and I are going to work on our communication. I told him how the issue escalated because we didn't work it out between us and that we should never have actively involved her. He understood. He's 31, but he's been living alone and having mostly short-term relationships, so he hasn't had a chance to learn to navigate these things. And his last serious girlfriend was all of the red flags. And yes, he might be neurodivergent too. In the comments, Lausim59 says, I'm editing this after reading some of the comments from the OP. Your initial post said a D&D type game, but your comments state that it's a board game and they were going to use your copy. That makes a difference. You've only been dating a year. Your comments suggest that there are continuing problems with your boyfriend not meeting your needs, but also making you sound needy and insecure. In a healthy relationship, social interactions with others is healthy. You made a lot of excuses about why you don't have your own friends, and I'm guessing there are things that you're leaving out of your post. You say you only have one night off a week? Are you working 60 to 80 hours a week, or is your job evening shift? If so, you have morning times that you could get involved in activities. Surely there are libraries, museums, animal rescues that could use help, etc. This does not sound like a healthy relationship and may be contributing to your mental health problems. Everyone sucks here. OP says, "Sorry, I see how the game types got confusing. I do work late hours, and I have 2 days off a week, but one of them's a weekday, and that's when I usually do all of my chores, etc., because Steven works a regular Monday to Friday 9 to 5. The job is draining, and I did make some friends here at first, but there was a lot of toxicity almost immediately. Yes, I am leaving things out of my post because I anticipate hate or backlash, or a 'you're delusional.' The thing I'm leaving out is, it's hard to make friends because men find me quite attractive. It's that tism riz. I'm no model, I'm like 5 foot and not well endowed, but my job keeps me quite fit. I also love video games and other nerdy things, and because masking can lead to reciprocating what others want you to be like, I often become the ideal girl before the mask falls away. In a mixed group, I find that some people will actively hate me for this, either because I don't want to date them or because they think I'm competition. But I've managed to make really good friends despite this in the past. I've just moved away from them all, and making new ones as an adult has been hard." Why did OP mention Steven and Lily slept together if she's not bothered by it? OP says, "Actually, you're right. I am bothered with how she brings up how cute he is, etc., but not bothered that anything is gonna happen now. It's in the past, and I know he's not the cheating type. I've got years of reading people under my belt, and he's a terrible liar, so when he told me that it's history, I believe him. I mentioned it because I wonder if that's why I was excluded. Like maybe she's not over it. If I'm not there, it's basically her and 3 people that she finds attractive, and who hypothetically find her attractive. I think that sounds quite appealing for an evening's entertainment. Lily kinda sounds like a bit of a pick-me, and that she's threatened by you from what's been explained. You mentioned your boyfriend is 30 and hasn't had any real long-term relationships, which is why this behavior might not have shown up with previous girlfriends. Her acting like this could be because your boyfriend cares about you and is more serious about you than he was with his exes. I'd be on the lookout for any more sabotaging behavior. I don't think it's that she's not over your boyfriend necessarily, but it does make you the most important girl to him aside from family. And maybe even more than them in some cases, which could be an issue for her if she's used to him prioritizing her or giving her more attention given their history than just an opposite-sex friend where physical attraction isn't involved in the dynamic. Hopefully your boyfriend backs you up when it comes to her, and maybe talk to Rowan to see if you've ever insulted or hurt her feelings just to cover your bases. OP replies, "Oh, maybe I've upset Rowan somehow. I just don't know how. Lily is very fierce and protecting of Rowan, so that could be it. The only thing I can think of is something that happened with another friend of Rowan's. Honestly, it probably requires a whole nother am I the asshole, because that situation has me super confused as well. I'm new to this Reddit. Should I discuss it as a comment or make another post?" OP on what happened in the past. Reddit won't let me do that, so here it is. I can only ever think of one event that did it. It was a few months into our relationship, and I'd met Rowan a few times. When her friend Claire visited from out of town, Steven was staying at my place, as I had some rare time off. I wanted to spend time with him, but he mentioned needing to go home because Claire was arriving. Although Claire wasn't his friend, Steven needed to be there for her due to his dog's discomfort with strangers. I suggested coming along and doing something together afterwards, but he said that Rowan and Claire might want to hang out, so I suggested making it a group outing. But Steven became evasive, hinting that I may not be welcome. His entire manner became super suspicious, and I knew he was lying to me about something. I asked if there was anything that I should know about his relationship with Claire. He said that wasn't it. They had chatted online a little and joked about banging when she visited if he was single, but he's not single, so of course that's not gonna happen. He said there was nothing between Claire and him, but Rowan might not appreciate me coming along, so he had to ask permission. He called Rowan, who said that it was fine for me to join. After that, Steven's behavior returned back to normal. and we went to his place and then out for dinner. The evening went well, and I enjoyed meeting Claire, who seemed friendly. After dinner, I noticed that Claire looked tired and made a comment that I thought was harmless. "Aw, your expression reminds me of a grandmother who's happy to see her grandchildren but is very tired and wants to go to bed now." Claire was shocked and embarrassed, and Rowan gasped, saying, "Oh my god, that's savage." Everyone, including Claire, laughed, but I knew that I'd said something wrong and apologized immediately. The next day, we went out thrifting, and Rowan stopped me in the parking lot with Stephen, saying my comment was inappropriate and made Claire cry for being called out for her tiredness. She told me to be more mindful of my words. I apologized repeatedly and asked to apologize to Claire again, but was told that she didn't want to talk about it. Stephen supported Rowan's view, saying that I needed to be more careful with my words. I spent the day being extra cautious and feeling ambushed. I now see a pattern of behavior stemming from this incident. I worry that this might be why Rowan wants to exclude me from things. From her perspective, I joined her on a fun weekend with her friend and brother and made her friend cry. But really? Was my comment about Claire so inappropriate that it required a confrontation in the parking lot and exclusion from future events? In the comments, Agitated By says, "Who the hell would ever want to hang out with any of these people?" I say this as someone who loves tabletop games. Never underestimate how low our standards can go to fill up a table. I was once in a group with a dude who had something scary going on under the hood, but since he could host us... There is so much going on that we do not know. Also, OP shouldn't have let them take her game for the others to not actually get to play. How do you exclude the owner of the game from the event where it's being played? That just seems so rude to me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My biggest disappointment of adulthood was finding out that many people never mature beyond middle school. That's exactly the point where some part of my brain ground to a halt, especially since the owner hadn't even got to play it yet. Borrowing a game from someone's library that they've loved for many years is a different vibe than cracking it open for the first time ever and specifically not inviting them to even watch and see how it's played, when it's their thing, not yours. I mean, for Christ's sake, folks, usually at least keep in mind that the owner gets first crack at something. Do these people also borrow new books before the person who bought the book has a chance to read it? Or what? There is, of course, all the rest of it, but the audacity. And that's where I'm going to leave today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!